Hey everybody, Katie Sutton here, Intuitive Channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School with your September 2023 energy update. I've got 4 themes that I want to share with you this month. The first is slowing down to speed up. The second is letting the hurt parts speak. The third is emotional sovereignty. And the fourth is opening for connection. All right, so thank you all for joining me and for tuning in. And before we get into what I want to share, I just want to invite you all to take a deep breath and to tune in to what's happening in your body and what's happening in your being and just slow down for a second. It's funny, this is the second time I've tried to record this video and I'm recording it when I should be in session with a client, and all of that is going on because Mercury is in retrograde and we're supposed to be slowing down. We have almost 5 or 6 planets in retrograde right now, and we need to slow down. And that's not always easy. And I especially know that it might be a bit challenging right now as well because we just moved through some really big changes in August and we brought in a whole bunch of new energy, and we might be feeling like we've brought in a new version of ourselves. And now we have the work to do to integrate all of that light and to allow what isn't serving to fall away, which can sometimes be a challenge, okay? So here we are in September, we're taking a deep breath, we're diving into slowing down a little bit and dropping into an integrative period where we can allow some things to fully take form. And as I mentioned, Mercury's in retrograde, and the reason why I'm having to record this video again is because the power went off the first time I was recording it, and it's a beautiful sunny day outside, so there's no reason for that, but that is Mercury retrograde energy. In addition to Mercury, we have Venus and Jupiter and a whole host of other planets that are in retrograde. And retrogrades are not bad. I think we tend to vilify them, but they're really just asking us to slow down and go inward and complete things that are not complete. And especially when Venus is in retrograde, we're being also asked to look at our relationship contracts and agreements and maybe go through an upgrade in those. So the first theme that I have for you this month is slowing down to speed up. And I was just talking with my husband about this morning that when we prioritize ourselves and our inner landscape and what we need to do to inwardly slow down and release stress, it allows us to be more productive and to use our time more wisely and to speed up in other areas of our life. And this is basically the antithesis of what we are taught in our culture and in our business landscape, that we need to just keep hustling all the time and that we can never take a break, we can never slow down, we can never stop, or we're going to miss something. And so some of you might be feeling this energy in your body as a sense of war within yourselves or a sense of restlessness. And what I'm also noticing for myself is that it's really hard right now for me to get grounded into my body and into the earth. I may be present in my body, but it's even harder for me to get into the earth. And that's not what I have been experiencing for the last couple of months. So this is a new energy that's coming in. And you know, sometimes what that also does is it creates this feeling of disconnection or disembodiment and disconnection with our guides and our helpers and our team. And so some of you might be feeling this first theme that's encouraging us to slow down as a feeling of disconnection. Really, when we are in these places where we're ungrounded and we're feeling like we're a little stuck and we're not able to move things at the pace that we would like, it is an invitation to slow ourselves down and look at what we should really be prioritizing first. And so that's really the energy in September, right? We've got the first half of the month where a lot of things are going to be retrograde, including Mercury. And the invitation is to take it down a notch, slow it down a little bit. Focus on what you value and what lights you up personally. How can you realign your mission right now to be more in alignment with what is lighting you up and what feels good for you? How can you evaluate how you're spending your time and what's going on in your relationships and pull some of that energy back, slow it down, bring it inward, and allow things to shift on their own. And that is going to release resistance as well, because what I'm noticing is that we had so many big shifts in August and we were feeling so supported. There was so much light coming onto the planet. And now we're seeing all of the things come to the surface that light has disrupted. And one of the other things is that I'm noticing that as we are doing this process of letting go of all the things that have gotten shaken loose, if you will, some of us tend to attach into and grab onto those things and are afraid to let them go or afraid to let them change. And that's what really creates the resistance in these times of change. And that's what really keeps us stuck. So as you're slowing down to speed up, what I really mean by that is slowing down enough to notice where you're in resistance, where you're in attachment energy, where you're unwilling to let go, and notice that and bring attention to it and ask for support in releasing that, which will speed up this transition that you're moving through, right? This transitional phase that you're moving through. So slowing down to speed up is our first theme. Okay. So our next theme, letting the hurt parts speak. This one is really hard for me to say. Letting the hurt parts speak. So we have an energy right now, and it is very much being exhibited in what's happening on the planet as well. And I'll come to that in a second. But we have an energy right now that is inviting us to open our hearts and bring those most vulnerable parts forward and almost bring them on the outside of our body and let the world begin to see them. Wow, that's a big ask, isn't it? And one of the things that is contributing to this is there has been a major environmental disaster in Hawaii, a big fire, and this part of the world is attuned to our heart chakra. It is one of the sacred heart pumps of Mother Earth. And I got this information from Aluna Joya, a channeler that I really align with and resonate with. And when she wrote about this sacred heart pump in Hawaii and how as it's burning away, it's inviting us to burn away the armor in our heart, I said, yes, that is what I am feeling. That is what I have been experiencing. And I couldn't put it into words. I knew there was some connection with what was happening there in Hawaii, but I didn't quite understand that connection until I read what she wrote. And so some of you are going to be just like me. You're very connected into what's happening on the planet and what's happening in the collective. And you're going to be feeling this heart disarmoring this month. And as I've moved through it, it has been incredibly physically intense in my heart space, as well as in my hips, interestingly enough, where I've been releasing shame and guilt around those hurt parts and me not allowing those hurt parts to speak up and to be heard. And so there's a very interesting energy this month that is inviting you to use your voice and go vulnerably into conversation with the people in your life that you care about, those that you love, and allow the hurt parts of you to speak truth. Okay? This does not mean that you project your hurt and your pain onto other people. There is a way to do this where you allow those parts of your being that have been hurt to vulnerably speak their truth to the person that has hurt you. And if you can't do this in real life and you can't speak to that person, there's a boundary that needs to be in place because you're not safe, then write it down or speak it to somebody else. Allow these hurt parts of you to have a safe place of expression somewhere in your life this month. That is also going to support you in releasing the resistance, releasing the armoring that is keeping you from integrating these new timelines and these new versions of yourself that you brought in August, okay? So when we allow these really deeply wounded parts of us to be heard and be seen and to speak up, we are bringing medicine to those parts of ourselves. We are helping those parts of ourselves to let go of the past. Here we are in retrograde energy where we're completing past things, let go of the past and move forward. And I'm noticing as well, since we're in this retrograde period, that we're back in a time where we're doing a lot of ancestral clearing of really old wounds as well. And so some of these hurt parts might be saying things that you don't even recognize or don't even align with in this lifetime. And it could be ancestral energy or past life energy that you're allowing to speak, right? And the really important thing is when you're allowing these parts of you to express is to not judge or shame them in any way. If you judge or shame them or you shut them down, then you are adding to that hurt. Okay? And so if you are with somebody who gets defensive when you try to allow your hurt parts to speak, then you have to find a way to express that energy somewhere else where you have a safe place. And if that person keeps shutting you down, it might be time to evaluate, is this the best relationship for me to be in? Because the most vulnerable parts of me are not allowed to be seen in this relationship. And do I want to be in relationship in that way? I know one of the things that I value personally the most in all of my close relationships is authentic communication and deep feeling and deep truth. That may not be your what you value, but it is what I value. And so for me, as I've been moving through this Venus retrograde period and I'm allowing these hurt parts to speak, it's important that I'm in relationship with people that can see those hurt parts and can take care of them like I would want them to be taken care of. But for you, this may show up slightly differently. Your value system might be different of what you want in relationship. But really allowing those vulnerable parts to come forward and at least having a conversation with them yourself is very important this month. Okay? And that takes me to our third theme, which is emotional sovereignty. What I really mean by this theme is that we are sovereign in our emotional bodies. We are autonomous in our emotional bodies. We are able to own our emotional body space. And what that translates to in your energy body is being able to own your sacral chakra, which, as I look at our collective consciousness and I look at the people that come to me in session and I look out into the world, we really suck at owning our sacral and our root chakras. We're very quick, most of us, to give those spaces away to other people. And especially if you're empathic, you're very used to giving this space away where your emotional body is held to other people and allowing yourself to process their stuff instead of you processing your own emotions. So emotional sovereignty is about claiming that sacral chakra and that emotional body. And it's totally okay if you don't know how to do that. Step one is saying, I have no idea how to be embodied in my sacral chakra. I have no idea how to claim my emotional landscape. I don't even know what emotions I'm feeling half the time. It's okay if you don't know. The only way that you're going to move beyond that place of not knowing is to be honest with yourself and be honest with the universe and begin to ask for help in owning this emotional space. And this includes being able to have a wider range of emotions that you have access to. Okay, that's part of what emotional sovereignty means. It also looks like emotional regulation and you being able to embody your emotions and express them in a way that feels true and authentic to you without making it anybody else's responsibility to do that work for you or taking on the responsibility of other people's emotions in your own being. Sovereignty looks like good boundaries, good autonomous energy here in our sacral chakra and our emotional bodies. This is a multi-step process that begins by you being honest with yourself about whether or not you are taking ownership of your own emotions. If you are not feeling your feelings, then they are going to come out in your body, in your expression, in your relationships, in other ways that you do not like. And so part of taking sovereignty and taking responsibility for ourselves is being willing to feel our feelings and to allow them and to not run from them. And when we're in a retrograde period, it's a great time to slow down and notice what you haven't been noticing for the last few months when we were in go mode, right? Part of the way that we avoid emotional sovereignty and emotional autonomy on this planet is to stay busy and to keep doing. And when we're doing, we're not being and we're not feeling. So the opportunity this month is to really start to get connected to your emotions. What are your emotional landscapes telling you right now? How can you allow them to flow? How can you allow them to express? If you're not safe or you don't feel safe crying and expressing emotions in the traditional sense, can you dance? Can you create? Can you sing? Can you do something to express these pent-up emotions? Because they are taking up space in your body and they are keeping you from owning your sacral chakra, which is your pleasure center and your creation center. So when we get in these retrograde periods, we often feel very stuck and we feel very stagnant. But what they're asking us to do is go back and clean up our messes, go back and clean up the unfinished business. And so a lot of us have some unfinished emotional business that we need to attend to this month. That is our third theme, emotional sovereignty. Okay. So let's move into the fourth theme that all of these other themes are preparing us for, which is open for connection, opening to connection, okay? So when we are open for connection, we are sending a signal out to the world around us that we want to be in community, we want to be in co-creation, we want to be in connection. So many of you come to me and tell me, Katie, I'm so lonely, I feel like I'm isolated, I feel like I'm all by myself doing this work. Yes, I get that is part of being a way shower, that we are going first and we are taking steps to do this work when other people in our family and our friend groups may not. But you may be walking around in a shut down sense in terms of your ability to connect with people. A lot of us have been in so many places where we have been harmed and so many places where we have been abused and our energy has been misused or taken advantage of, that we tend to walk around not signaling that we are open for connection. And one of the ways that we signal that we are open for connection is the energy, the vibration that we are broadcasting out into the world around us through our crown chakra, through our heart chakra, through our root and our sacral chakras. And so part of why I'm asking you to own your emotional state is so that you can find peace and calm in your being, so that you can express those emotions, find that peace and calm, and then you can be open for connection with those around you. If you are overwhelmed, if you are shut down, if you are not processing what you need to take care of in your immediate landscape, then you are not open for connection, right? People are receiving that as a signal of, this person does not want to connect with me. And so if you're looking to build new relationships, you're looking to build new partnerships, you're looking to build new business opportunities, whatever it is that you're trying to create, part of that comes from saying to the universe, to source, to God, to all of those around you, that you are open for business, you are open for connection. It's time to hang that open sign outside of your energy field and say, hey, I want to be in connection. I want to be in community. I want to move forward and co-create with people. And this might be scary for some of you. Some of you might be really shut down and might have a lot of good reasons why you are shut down. But in order to overcome that loneliness and that feeling of disconnect and that feeling of separation that so many of us hold in our beings, we have to be brave and we have to begin to put ourselves out there. And yes, sometimes you might get your heart broken. Sometimes you might have things that are happening to you that are really challenging because the person that you're trying to connect with has baggage. Everybody has baggage. Everybody can trigger us. And so when you are owning your emotional sovereignty and you are doing the work that I just mentioned in the last theme to process and regulate and do your self-responsibility work of being with your emotions and processing all of those things, it's a lot easier for you to be regulated and be open for connection with other people. And when something bad happens, you don't have an overreaction. You don't take it personally. You realize, hey, maybe they're going through something and maybe this isn't about me and I don't need to take that on. And so part of this theme of being open for connection is being regulated in your nervous system, is being regulated in your emotional body, and it is working on opening that heart and allowing those hurt parts that I mentioned to speak their truth so that they can be healed, so that you can open your heart again. So open for connection is an important theme this month. It is going to carry you into the fall and the winter months where we tend to get a little isolated and we tend to feel a little alone. And we have all this family stuff that starts to come up in November, right? In December. So now is the time to do the work to say, I want to be in relationship with people who value me. I want to put my open sign out to the world and say, I'm ready to have conscious relationships with people that care about me. I'm ready for that connection. If you don't start asking for it, it will not show up. You have to be willing and be in alignment in your energy field for those connections to come online. And so part of this also looks like saying to your guides and your helpers and your team, hey, I have been hurt before and I'm really afraid to open my heart and I really don't know what to do here. Please guide me into, how do I open my heart for connection? How do I stay safe? How do I feel safe in my being so that I can stay safe out in the world? These are the things that I want you to be thinking about this month as we work with this theme of open for connection, okay? And that is really the one that we're going to be focused on in Healing Circle, because I really feel like this is something that is an edge for many of us, especially if we're empathic. We have this tendency to be shut down and be really reserved and to not be open for connection because we're so afraid of it being overwhelming. Sometimes we got to get overwhelmed, friends. Sometimes we got to feel a lot of feelings and process them and work through them, and then we grow stronger. We become more resilient. So don't be afraid of connection. Don't be afraid of new experiences. Don't be afraid of calling in bigger experiences and bigger dreams for yourself this month as you open for connection. So That fourth theme of open for connection, we will be working with on September 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in our online healing circle this month. So I'll be teaching you about how to broadcast this kind of open sign in your energy field, and we're going to be doing some heart disarming work so that you can heal those hurt parts, let those hurt parts speak, and bring some healing to that so that you can open your heart for connection. Okay? So we're going to be focused on that on September 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. More info beneath this video if you'd like to join us. I also have some amazing retreats and other experiences coming up in October and November. The end of October, we have an in-person retreat in Flat Rock, North Carolina. It's a Vision Quest retreat. It's all about moving through transitions and allowing parts of you that you no longer want to carry forward to fall away and opening the door for your big new dreams that you want to manifest. And then in November, I have a very special workshop on 11/11 that is called The Fully Resourced Woman, and it'll be focused on women and those identifying as women, and we're going to be working with sacred ceremony, working with offerings to the earth, working with breath practices and somatic practices and flower essences and all kinds of amazing activations and teachings about how you can be in your body and be fully resourced and have emotional capacity for the people that are in your life. This is all about releasing stress and releasing hurt and welcoming in our highest expression as women. So if you're interested in that's going to take place in China Grove, North Carolina on 11/11, you can find out more about that. I hope that I get to see you at an online healing circle or an in-person event very soon. I hope you have an amazing September. Go slow, my friends. Take care of yourselves, okay? I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.